the shades of the Tones of Turd palette by Glaminatrix. But look at these shimmers. The 4 multi-chromes. Hey friends, it's Tones of Turd time. For those of you who don't know, this started out as an April Fool's joke by Glaminatrix. They posted that they were coming out with a palette with poop colors called Tones of Turd. But surprisingly, the feedback on it was so positive, and everyone, including myself, wished this palette into reality. This is what the palette looks like, and it even comes with this super cute glossary, which I'll read out to you guys as we do the swatches. But first, let me tell you a little bit about this palette. It has 15 shades, they're all magnetic pans. It has 10 pigmented smooth mattes, 4 multi-chromes, and 1 intense metallic shimmer. And for those of you who aren't into poop humor, they released the exact same palette with different shade names and a different palette name. It's called Grounded. Both are available on their website for pre-order, but I purchased mine from ifeelbeautiful.ca. Now let's get into some swatches. But wait, back to the shade definitions. This is a very serious glossary for a very unserious palette. First up, we have Ghost White. A nice matte white. And the shade definition is when you wipe and there's nothing there. A true miracle. Next, we have Baby Poop. Super pigmented, and the definition is that mustardy mess you never forget, even if you try. Then we have Runny Hunny. These mattes are very soft and buttery and smooth. Suspiciously liquid, and definitely not honey. Number 2. The classic, the reason we're all here. Logjam. A blockage of epic proportions, calling the plunger. Then we have Dump and Dazzle. Look at that. This is the high intensity shimmer. A glamorous release followed by a sparkle in your eye. Triple Flush. This should be a multi-chrome. Because one just wasn't enough. Oh my goodness. This one's called Turtle Heading. Another multi-chrome. And Turtle Heading is, you know the feeling, it's peaking, plugged up. Ooh, this is an interesting shade. And Plugged Up says, when things are stuck, help. Next is Corny Surprise. You didn't eat corn, but it's there. Such fun names. Now back to the mattes. We have Crop Dust. A Silent Killer. Flee the Scene. Bowel Babe. She's regular, hydrated, and thriving. Sweet Relief. That Euphoric Post-Poop Glow. Potty Mouth. Not Safe for Polite Company. And the last shade is Skid Mark. The haunting evidence left behind. These are the shades of the Tones of Turd palette by Glaminatrix. This one is a matte. If you see any sparkles in it, it's just left over from my fingers. But look at these shimmers. The 4 multi-chromes and the high intensity shimmer. So pretty. I plan on doing 3 looks with this palette. So for look number 1, let's start with the shade Crop Dust and a REPHR 33. Let's start in the outer corner. Laying this down as our transition shade. But today I'm actually only going to do this one look because we're going out to watch the new Superman movie. And then tomorrow I'll film looks 2 and 3. Same thing on this side. So on April Fool's Day, I actually ran to my husband laughing about this post about this Tones of Turd palette, saying how I actually wished that this was a real thing, and if it was a real thing, I'd totally buy it. Because we're silly. We're totally into the poop humor, especially my daughter. I even actually call her a turd. Look at that, a nice easy blend out. Now let's dip into the shade number 2 with the SHODO 04. Same thing, starting in the outer corner. But what about you guys? What are your thoughts on this Tones of Turd palette? Anyone picked it up already? Anyone curious about it? The formula is incredible. But this is my second palette from Glaminatrix, so I already know that I love this formula. Loosely pulling it towards the inner third of the eye and blending it up into the crease area, gently pulling it across towards the inner third. Same thing on this side. This one is still kind of a neutral palette, right? Just has a little bit of a pop of color. Neutral palette with a twist and some humor. You can even get both palettes on their website as a bundle. But I don't know what the pre-order situation means. Like even when this palette was released, when I saw it on Instagram, they said, it's here, available for pre-order. But then I don't know when they were being shipped out. And then they said the first pre-order was sold out. And then they had a second pre-order. And then they gave dates, I think. But I'm so grateful that I have ifeelbeautiful.ca to order from. They make everything so easy. Let's darken things up with Skid Mark and a gently used SHODO 00. Pat down some pigment. Gently pulling it across the lash line towards the inner third. And blending it up into the crease area. This Skid Mark shade is super pigmented and has like a very interesting tone to it. It's like a black brown. I wouldn't even call it a super rich deep brown. It's almost black, but black with like the best undertone. You know how sometimes blacks blend out on the blue-gray side? This one is so pretty and much to my liking. Gently pulling it across towards the inner third area. Now I'm going back in with the REPHR 33 with no added pigment, just to soften out the edges. Same thing on this side. If my mom was into neutrals or like brown leaning shadows, I would have grabbed this palette for her because she would have thought this was hilarious. I think I get my original poop humor from my mom. Back to the REPHR 33 for softening of the edges. No added pigment. But look how quick and easy that blend out was. And again, I'd wear this as an all matte look. But for shimmers, let's try out this Corny Surprise shade. Can you guys see? It's kind of marbled in the pan. And this is what it looks like after swirled. And we're just gonna pop that on the third of the eye towards the center. Whoa, cool. How fun is this shade? Same thing on this side. For the inner third, let's try Dump and Dazzle. It's the high intensity shimmer. Let's pop that right in the inner third of the eye. Whoa, that's so bright and sparkly. Same thing on this side. And then we will smooth everything out. Just taking my silicone brush from Amazon to see if we can just smooth this out a little bit. Going back in with my SHODO 00 and the skid mark shade, the deep matte black brown, just to go over the edge of where the shimmer starts. Same thing on this side. Let's gently pull this in a little bit. And now back to the REPHR 33 for more softening. Let's use Ghost Wipe as an underbrow highlight. Now that the rest of my face is done, let's finish up this eye look. I'm going to go in with the shade Skid Mark and a ColourPop E25. Starting at the outer corner, let's just stamp in some pigment. Same thing on this side. And now let's dip into the shade number 2 with the SHODO 04. And we're just going to smooth out the bottom edge. Same thing on this side. I'm not sure if it's the shimmers combined with the number 2 shade, but that skid mark shade almost looks like it has a green undertone to it. It's super pretty. I just did liquid eyeliner and mascara off camera, and here is the final look for look number 1. Let me come in close. And try different lighting. I'll see you guys soon for looks number 2 and 3. Hi again everyone, it's tomorrow for me, but I just put the same shirt on for continuity. So for look number 2, let's get into the shade Baby Poop and a REPHR number 16. Let's start at the outer corner again. And blend it into the crease area. So because this shade is on the vibrant side, I chose the REPHR number 16 because it's a big fluffy brush. So that'll help diffuse the color. And now let's try the shade Bowel Babe with the REPHR 01. Starting at the outer corner again. And let's see, let's pull this along the lash line. And blend it up into the crease area. So we went to go see the new Superman movie yesterday. Any of you guys Superman fans? Or DC, Marvel, comics, superhero movie types? And I thought the movie was good. I'm a Henry Cavill fan, so I was a little bit like, how's this new Superman gonna compare? But I think he did a good job portraying that version of Superman, which is kind of new still. He's a little bit insecure. He's not like that established Superman that knows his purpose and then has seen a lot of things, so he's a little bit on the dark side, which is kind of the Superman that Henry Cavill played, in my opinion. So the new Superman, I think he did a good job of portraying that particular version of Superman. Crypto was cute and funny. Yeah, this one wasn't so serious, wasn't so heavy of a Superman movie, so it was enjoyable. Have any of you guys watched it yet? And what are your thoughts? I think we have a nice blend going on here. Please excuse my bug bite. So let's deepen things up. Let's go in with the shade Logjam and a slightly clean SHODO 00. Starting at the outer corner again, let's pat down some pigment. Gently pull it across the lash line. And blend it up into the crease area. So as I was saying in a different video, we've been seeing a lot of these yellows, these mustards in quite a few palettes, but I'm enjoying it. These kind of murky greens, olive tones. Taking it towards the inner third of the eye. And now I'm just going back to the REPHR number 16 for some softening of edges. For shimmer, let's try the shade Turtle Heading and just my finger. These special shades are very soft, so when using a finger, just do a gentle swirl. Let's pop that on the third of the eye towards the center. Cool. Look at that shift. This one has like, it's green to gold to peach. And then for the inner third, let's try the shade Triple Flash. Pop that on the inner third of the eye. Ooh, look at how bright that is. Bright and reflective. I'm just going back in with a little bit more of the Turtle Heading shade and blend them back and forth together. And bringing the Turtle Heading shade up just a little bit so it can be a little bit more diffused at the edge. And now I'm just taking my silicone brush from Amazon with a little bit more of the shade Triple Flush, just to see if we can pop it in here with a little bit more precision. Back to the REPHR 16. See if I can soften out this line a bit. And now using the SHODO 00 with no added pigment, just to see if we can pull in some of the shadow in the inner third. And now I've dipped back into the Logjam shade, and let's pat this at the edge where the shimmer starts. And to bring the intensity of the outer corner back. Once again, with the REPHR 16, no added pigment, smooth out the edges. I just did this side of my face off camera, so let's finish up this eye look. I'm going to go in with the ColourPop E25 and the shade Logjam, starting at the outer corner of the lower lash line. Let's just stamp in some product. And then pull it towards the inner third. And I'm going to take my REPHR number 16 and dip into Baby Poop and Bowel Babe together. And then run this along the bottom edge. I just did mascara and liquid eyeliner off camera, and here is the final look for look number 2. For look number 3, let's start off with the shade Crop Dust and a REPHR 33. Starting at the outer corner and blending it up into the crease area. We're just using this as our transition shade, so that everything we lay down on top will blend out easier, smoother. And now let's go in with the shade Potty Mouth and a SHODO 00. Starting at the outer corner, let's pat down some pigment first to see how intense or not intense it is. And then blend it up into the outer crease area. So for this look, I actually have an idea in mind, but I'm not sure if it's going to work out because I'm planning on using two colors that don't normally go together. So we'll see how this turns out. So for the inner third area, I think I'm going to go in with the shade Runny Hunny and a REPHR 21. But first, let's just look at how pretty this shade is by itself. Okay, Runny Hunny, REPHR 21, inner third. And let's gently blend it up towards the middle, towards the crease, or towards the this part of my eye. Actually, those colors went together better than I thought they were. My plan actually is to use the shade Sweet Relief in the lower lash line. But to tie it all together, I think I'm going to try and deepen up my outer corner a little bit with this shade and an E10 from Singe Beauty. Actually, this is the part that I'm nervous about because red and green are complementary colors, which means they neutralize each other. Or mixed together, it turns gray, brown, like a black color. So let's see how this works. So I'm just going to gently put it at the outer corner. Okay, not too bad. Because in terms of hair, we use green or ash to cancel out red tones, red undertones in hair. Okay, let me see. I think I just want a tiny bit here before I lay down a shimmer. And then we'll make adjustments afterwards because I really don't want this green shade to take over at all. For shimmer, I'm so excited to use this shade Plugged Out. See, it has like the coolest shift to it. So let's pop that on right at the third of the eye. Starting at the third of the eye anyway, because I want this shimmer actually to be all over the lid. Look at that. I think my idea is going to work out. I just did the rest of my face off camera so we can finish up this eye look. Let's go in with the shade Sweet Relief and an E11 from Singe Beauty. Starting at the outer corner of the lower lash line, let's just pat down some pigment. Connect it, kind of. Pull it along the lash line. I'm just going back in with my REPHR 21 and the shade Runny Hunny. So we can put that in the inner third of the eye of the lower lash line. This is back to the E11 with no added pigment, just whatever's left over of the Sweet Relief shade. So I want to gently bring that up. Let's try this. Let's take the SHODO 00 with a tiny bit of the Potty Mouth shade and run this along the lower lash line, or the edge of the lower lash line shades. And now I'm taking my SHODO 00 with a tiny bit more of the Potty Mouth shade, the reddish shade, just to see if we can add some intensity up in this corner. And I'm just using really gentle pressure, like barely any pressure, and little motions, because I don't want to mix it together and make everything look muddy. I'm trying anyway. E10 with Sweet Relief, that dark green shade, just patting that down where the shimmer starts. REPHR 33 with no added product for edge softening. Now let's do some underbrow highlight. Let's use the shade Ghost Wipe for both sides. I just did mascara, liquid eyeliner, and a green eyeliner in the lower lash line. So here are the final looks for look number 2. And 3. Let me come in close so you guys can see. And that wraps up this video. Let me know if you guys have a favorite. I'm super impressed with this Tones of Turd palette by Glaminatrix. All of the shades blend out beautifully. They go on easy. The palette is so creative and super fun with all of the names and the backstory of the Tones of Turd. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Or if it's nighttime for you, I hope you get a good night's rest. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.
Oh, ha, ha.